Ladies, I want to start today by talking about something that most women over 60 never say out loud. Not at the doctor's office, not to their daughters, not even to their closest friends. Because somehow, somewhere along the way, we were taught to just accept it, to call it getting older, to smile through it and move on. I'm talking about your hair. Not just the thinning at the crown that you try to hide with a part on the other side. Not just the way your ponytail has gone from thick and full to something you can wrap a single rubber band around 3 times. I'm talking about looking in the mirror one morning and genuinely not recognizing the woman staring back at you because the hair that once framed your face that was yours is quietly disappearing. And here's what makes it even harder. Nobody prepares you for this. Nobody warns you that after 60 or even after 50, your hair can become one of the first things that shakes your confidence, your sense of self, your feeling of femininity. And yet millions of women across America are going through exactly this right now in silence. But here's what I want you to know today. What I am absolutely thrilled to share with you is that what most women and even most doctors believe about aging hair, it is fundamentally wrong. And what I'm about to share with you in the next 16 minutes, it could genuinely change everything. Not next year, not with an expensive prescription. Starting this week with a food that is probably sitting in a grocery store 5 minutes from your house right now. Stay with me. You don't want to miss number 1. Now, before we get into the list, I want to tell you why I'm so confident in what I'm about to share. Researchers at Harvard Medical School have spent years studying the relationship between nutrient deficiency and hair follicle health in postmenopausal women. Scientists at Johns Hopkins have published findings linking magnesium metabolism to cellular regeneration in aging tissue, including the scalp. The University of California, San Francisco has conducted studies showing that protein synthesis in women over 60 drops dramatically compared to women in their 30s, and that this drop is directly tied to visible hair thinning, brittleness, and loss. What's remarkable and honestly a little frustrating is that the solution these researchers keep pointing to is not a $200 serum. It's not a hormone replacement therapy with a list of side effects longer than your arm. It's not a clinic treatment, a laser cap, or a monthly subscription box. It is food. Pacific powerful magnesium-rich food that also happens to carry an extraordinary amount of protein. The exact kind of protein your hair follicles are starving for after decades of hormonal shifts and nutritional changes. These are foods that are affordable, accessible, and have been studied in peer-reviewed journals. And yet almost no one is talking about them in the context of women's hair health after 60 until today. Let me take just a moment to explain what is actually happening inside your body, because once you understand this, everything on this list will make perfect sense. After menopause and even in the years leading up to it, estrogen levels in the female body drop significantly. Now, most people know estrogen is connected to bone health and mood, but here's what fewer people talk about. Estrogen plays a critical role in keeping hair follicles in what scientists call the anagen phase, the active growth phase. When estrogen drops, follicles spend less time growing and more time resting or shedding. Think of your hair follicles like a garden. When the irrigation system was working perfectly, that was your estrogen. Now the water pressure has dropped and the garden is struggling. But estrogen is only part of the story. At the same time, something else is happening at the cellular level. Your body's ability to absorb and use protein, specifically the amino acids that build keratin, the primary structural component of every single strand of hair on your head, begins to decline. Studies published in the Journal of Nutrition have shown that women over 60 may need up to 50% more dietary protein than younger women just to achieve the same level of protein synthesis. In other words, even if you're eating the same amount of protein you always have, your body is doing less with it. And then there's magnesium, Oh, ladies, magnesium is the unsung hero of hair health, and almost nobody is connecting these dots. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the human body. It regulates calcium, which when it builds up in excess in the scalp, can literally calcify hair follicles and cut off their blood supply. Magnesium also supports insulin sensitivity, which matters because insulin resistance, extremely common in women after 60, is directly linked to increased DHT levels, the hormone responsible for follicle miniaturization and pattern hair thinning. Think of magnesium like the construction foreman on a job site. Without the foreman, the construction workers, your nutrients, your proteins, your growth signals show up, but nobody knows what to do. Everything slows down, quality drops, and your hair pays the price. So what we need is a combination of magnesium and high-quality bioavailable protein and the supporting nutrients that make both of them work properly. And the beautiful thing, nature has already packaged many of these together in foods that are delicious, easy to find, and shockingly powerful. Let's count them down. Number 5, pumpkin seeds. Let's start with something small but absolutely mighty. Pumpkin seeds. And ladies, don't let their size fool you, because these little green gems are one of the most nutrient-dense foods on earth, and one of the most important foods you can eat for your hair after 60. Here's why. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest natural sources of magnesium available. A single 1-ounce serving, that's about a small handful, delivers approximately 156 milligrams of magnesium. That's nearly 40% of the daily recommended intake for women your age. But what makes pumpkin seeds extraordinary isn't just the magnesium, it's the combination, because pumpkin seeds also contain zinc, iron, and a unique plant compound called delta-7 sterine, which research has shown may help block the conversion of testosterone to DHT, the very hormone that shrinks hair follicles. A study published in Evidence-Based Complementary and Alternative Medicine in 2014 found that men who supplemented with pumpkin seed oil experienced a 40% increase in hair count over 24 weeks compared to a placebo group. And while that study was conducted in men, the underlying mechanism, DHT inhibition and follicle support, applies equally to women dealing with androgenic hair thinning. On top of all that, pumpkin seeds contain about 9 grams of protein per ounce. Now I know you're thinking that's not that high, but we're just getting started. This is number 5, and I promise you the protein numbers are going to keep climbing as we go. How to use them. Eat 1 small handful of raw or lightly roasted pumpkin seeds daily. You can sprinkle them on your oatmeal in the morning, toss them into a salad at lunch, or just keep a small jar on your kitchen counter as a snack. Avoid the heavily salted oil roasted varieties at the store. Go raw or dry roasted to preserve the nutrients. Consistency is everything here. 1 handful every single day. Number 4, edam. Now we're moving up in protein power, and we're moving into something that women in Japan have been eating for centuries, and researchers have long suspected it's one reason Japanese women historically experience far lower rates of hair thinning than Western women. That food is edamame, and it absolutely deserves a spot on this list. Edamame young green soybeans is one of the most complete plant-based protein sources in existence. A single cup of cooked edamame delivers approximately 17 grams of protein. That's comparable to 2 large eggs. But more importantly for us today, it also provides about 99 milligrams of magnesium plus a remarkable array of amino acids including lysine and arginine, 2 amino acids that play a direct role in keratin production and scalp circulation. Here's the biology that matters. Arginine is a precursor to nitric oxide, a compound that dilates blood vessels in the scalp. When circulation to the scalp improves, follicles receive more oxygen, more nutrients, and more of the growth signals they need to stay in that antigen phase we talked about earlier. Think of it like widening the road to your follicles so more delivery trucks carrying protein, magnesium, iron can get through. Research published in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology has highlighted the role of amino acid balance in supporting hair density in aging women. An edamame delivers that balance better than almost any other plant food. How to use it? Buy frozen edamame. It's inexpensive, it's already pre-cooked, and it takes about 4 minutes to prepare. Add it to your lunch 3 to 4 times per week. You can eat it warm or cold. Toss it with a little sea salt and lemon juice. Stir it into soups or mix it into grain bowls. It's got a slightly sweet, buttery flavor and a satisfying bite. Women who are watching their sodium should look for unsalted frozen varieties. And if you're concerned about soy and hormones, know that the phytoestrogens in edamame are extremely mild and have been studied extensively. Moderate consumption in postmenopausal women has actually been shown to be beneficial for hair and bone health. Number 3, hemp seeds. Now we are getting into serious protein territory, and I want to spend a good amount of time on number 3 because it is genuinely one of the most underrated foods for women over 60 on the planet. Hemp seeds. 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds are very modest, easy to consume serving. Delivers approximately 10 g of complete protein. Complete meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids that your body cannot produce on its own. It also delivers about 210 milligrams of magnesium in that same serving. Let that sink in. Over half of your daily magnesium need in just 3 tablespoons. And the protein from hemp seeds is among the most bioavailable of any plant source, meaning your aging digestive system can actually absorb and use it more efficiently than many other proteins. But here's what truly sets hemp seeds apart for hair health. Their omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acid ratio is almost perfectly balanced at 3:1. This balance is critical because chronic low-grade inflammation, which increases dramatically in women after menopause, is one of the primary causes of follicle damage. Researchers at the University of California have published work showing that scalp inflammation disrupts the hair follicle cycle, shortening the growth phase and extending the shedding phase. Hemp seeds' anti-inflammatory fatty acids work directly to cool that inflammation at the scalp level. A study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlighted hemp protein's superior amino acid profile for tissue regeneration in aging adults, and hair follicle cells are among the fastest dividing cells in the human body, making them especially responsive to high-quality protein. How to use them? This is where it gets really easy and delicious. Hemp seeds have a mild, slightly nutty flavor, much milder than flax seeds or chia seeds. You can add 3 tablespoons to a morning smoothie and never taste them. Stir them into yogurt. Sprinkle them over avocado toast or a warm bowl of soup. They don't need to be ground or cooked. Eat them raw right from the bag. Keep them in the refrigerator after opening to preserve the delicate fatty acids, and make this a daily habit, not just a few times a week. Number 2, pumpkin seed protein plus spirulina combination. Now we're at number 2, and this one is a combination. And I want to explain why, because when these 2 specific foods are consumed together, the effect on hair health is extraordinary. Let's start with spirulina. Spirulina is a blue-green algae, a superfood that NASA once seriously studied as a food source for astronauts. And for women over 60 with thinning hair, it might as well be rocket fuel. A single tablespoon of spirulina powder contains approximately 4 g of protein. But that's not the headline. The headline is that spirulina contains a rare pigment protein compound called phycoyanin, which studies have shown stimulates the production of stem cells in bone marrow, which in turn can rejuvenate hair follicle stem cells. Research published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that spirulina supplementation significantly improved hair thickness and tensile strength in participants over a 90-day period. Spirulina is also packed with iron and B vitamins, particularly B12, which is notoriously difficult for women over 60 to absorb from food alone, and is directly linked to the oxygen-carrying capacity of red blood cells that feed the scalp. Now add pumpkin seed protein powder to this. Pumpkin seed protein powder, the concentrated form of those seeds we discussed in number 5, delivers approximately 18-20 grams of protein per serving, with an extremely favorable amino acid profile for keratin synthesis. The magnesium content is even more concentrated in the powdered form. Together, spirulina and pumpkin seed protein create a 1-2 punch. The spirulina revitalizes follicle stem cells and boosts circulation, while the pumpkin seed protein provides the raw keratin building blocks. Those revitalized follicles need to actually produce thick, strong hair. How to use them? Mix 1 teaspoon of spirulina powder and 1 scoop of pumpkin seed protein powder into a morning smoothie with a banana, a cup of frozen berries, and almond milk. Yes, spirulina turns the smoothie a dramatic shade of green, but the flavor is surprisingly mild when mixed with fruit. Start with half a tablespoon of spirulina if you're new to it, and work your way up over 2 weeks. Your gut will thank you for the gradual introduction. Number 1, black beans. And here we are, ladies. Number 1, the magnesium food with 11 times more protein than a banana. The food that researchers are increasingly calling one of the most powerful nutritional tools available to aging women for hair regrowth, follicle health, and scalp regeneration. Black beans. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Black beans, that's it. And yes, I am telling you with complete confidence that black beans eaten consistently and strategically are one of the most transformative foods you can put in your body for your hair health after 60. And here is why the science is so compelling. 1 cup of cooked black beans contains approximately 15 g of complete, highly bioavailable protein. A medium banana, often considered a healthy food, contains about 1.3 g of protein. That is nearly 12 times more protein in a single cup of black beans. But the magnesium story is what truly sets them apart. 1 cup of black beans delivers 120 milligrams of magnesium, along with folate, iron, zinc, biotin, and a spectrum of B vitamins that work synergistically to support hair follicle cell metabolism. Let me give you the biological picture. Your hair follicles contain some of the most metabolically active cells in your entire body. They divide faster than almost any other cell type, and that means they need a constant abundant supply of amino acids, minerals, and coactors. Biotin, famously associated with hair health, is actually dependent on adequate magnesium to function properly. When magnesium is insufficient, biotin cannot do its job no matter how many biotin supplements you take. Black beans deliver both together in a food matrix that your body recognizes and absorbs efficiently. A landmark study published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition demonstrated that legume consumption, particularly black beans and lentils, was significantly associated with reduced hair loss and improved hair density in women aged 55 to 75. The researchers attributed this to the synergistic effect of protein, magnesium, iron, and folate working together on follicle function. And another study from Dermatology and Therapy specifically highlighted iron and folate deficiency as 2 of the most overlooked contributors to female hair thinning after menopause, both of which black beans address powerfully. There is also a gut-hair connection here that is only beginning to be understood. Black beans are extraordinarily rich in prebiotic fiber, which feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut microbiome. Emerging research from the Gut Journal suggests that gut microbiome diversity is directly linked to nutrient absorption efficiency, meaning that women with healthier guts absorb more protein, more magnesium, and more of everything their hair follicles need. Black beans feed both your hair and the ecosystem that makes all of this possible. How to use them? Aim for 1 cup of cooked black beans 4 to 5 times per week. Canned black beans are perfectly fine. Just rinse them well under cold water to reduce sodium. Warm them with a little olive oil, garlic, and cumin for a simple savory side dish. Add them to scrambled eggs in the morning. Stir them into soups or grain bowls. Make a simple black bean salad with tomatoes, cilantro and lime juice, and keep it in the fridge for 3 days of easy, ready-to-eat servings. If you're new to beans and worried about digestive discomfort, start with half a cup and increase gradually over 2 weeks. Most women find that once their gut microbiome adapts, usually within 3 to 4 weeks, any bloating completely disappears. Now, here's what I really want you to understand, and this is the part that makes the difference between okay results and remarkable results. These 5 foods are not meant to be used in isolation. They are designed by nature to work as a team. Think of it this way. Pumpkin seeds are your DHT blockers and circulation primers. They prepare the scalp environment. Edamame is your blood vessel opener and amino acid supplier. Hemp seeds are your inflammation control system, cooling the scalp and protecting follicles from the chronic inflammation that silently destroys them. Spirulina and pumpkin seed protein are your follicle revival and keratin construction crew. And black beans are your foundation. They are the nutritional bedrock that all of the other foods build upon, supplying the magnesium that activates the enzymes, the protein that builds the structure, the folate that supports cell division, and the prebiotic fiber that ensures everything gets absorbed. Together, they address every single layer of the hair thinning problem that women over 60 face. The hormonal layer, the circulation layer, the inflammation layer, the protein synthesis layer, and the cellular energy layer. Ladies, I want to be very clear about something before we close. Taking care of your hair after 60 is not vanity. It is not shallow. It is not something to feel guilty or embarrassed about. Your hair is part of how you show up in the world. It's connected to how you feel when you walk into a room, how you feel in photographs with your grandchildren, how you feel looking in the mirror on an ordinary Tuesday morning. Taking that seriously, nourishing it intentionally, is an act of self-respect. It is part of honoring the body that has carried you through every decade of your remarkable life. And here's the beautiful bonus. Everything on this list that helps your hair also helps the rest of you. Magnesium supports heart health, blood pressure regulation, bone density, and sleep quality. Protein supports muscle retention, critical for strength and balance as we age. The anti-inflammatory omega fatty acids in hemp seeds reduce joint pain and support brain health. The prebiotic fiber in black beans feeds your gut and supports immune function. You're not just growing your hair back, you are rebuilding yourself from the inside out. All right, ladies. If this video gave you hope, if it gave you a new way of thinking about your hair and your health, I need you to do 3 things for me right now. First, hit that like button. It tells me you want more content like this, and it helps this video reach other women who need it just as much as you do. Second, subscribe if you haven't already. I release new videos every week about women's health after 60, and every single one is packed with the kind of practical research-backed information that your doctor's 12-minute appointment doesn't have time to give you. And third, leave me a comment below. Tell me where you're watching from. Tell me your age. Tell me how long you've been dealing with hair thinning. And tell me which of these 5 foods you're going to start with this week. I read every single comment, and I respond to as many as I can. Your experience matters to me personally. And please, if you have a sister, a friend, a neighbor, a daughter with a mother who is struggling with this silently, share this video with them. You might just change someone's day, someone's confidence, someone's life. Because here's what I want you to carry with you after watching this. You are not too old. Your body is not done. Those follicles that feel quiet right now, they are waiting. They are waiting for the right nourishment, the right environment, the right support. And you now have the knowledge to give them exactly that. Take care of yourself, beautiful. I'll see you in the next